the 1974 centenary weekend celebrations for inclusion in the book, given that she was the author of Yet Still They Live, launched at those celebrations. For most of 2018 and early 2019, there was plenty of discussion about what format the book should take, what size and how many pages, how much were we prepared to spend on publishing, should publishing be done locally or overseas, how best to categorise information, who would be responsible for doing what, and so on. Quite often meetings would get sidetracked by storytelling and show and tell sessions, which, while very interesting, didn't really advance the project. The preparation of text and gathering of suitable photos was a slow and drawn out process. Committee members were assigned research tasks, and people in the wider community, including businesses and community and sporting groups, were asked to provide information for inclusion. Some responded quickly, others needed to be nagged. They were so reluctant you would think that they'd been asked to donate a kidney. The common response was, "I'm no good at writing," so much of the information was collected by interview and note-taking, as well as reviewing meeting minutes in local newspapers. Towards the end of 2022, it became apparent that if we relied only on bi-monthly meetings, we would struggle to meet the deadlines for publishing in order for the book to be ready for sale at the 150 celebrations. Typically, everyone sat on their hands, not being prepared to commit to being responsible for driving the process. At this point, Becker decided to take 12 months long service leave. 12 months long service leave, folks, to drive the book. So from March 2023 to March 2024, to ensure that the project was completed. Little did she know that she would be, Little did she know that it would be all-consuming, and plans that she had made to take a few weeks holiday here and there with Jim went out the window. The family crisis during this time also added to her workload and placed her under greater stress. Deciding to work with SA-based business in April 2023, Di and I met with a rep from Open Book Howden, working on a budget of $20,000 for a print run of 500 copies on a book length of 200 pages, the real work wouldn't start. Di has been responsible for at least 90% of the work that has gone into the production of this book, and without her tenacity, and dare I say it, Germanic efficiency, it would not have been finished, nor to the quality that has been achieved. Di experienced various frustrations through the design process and was surprised that the inclusion of an index proved challenging for ODH. Also, feedback from then on draft chapters submitted suggested that we would run over 200 pages in length, so some material was unnecessarily edited, with the final page count being 176. This project has probably scarred Di for life, and I doubt that she will be writing another book anytime soon. Finally, I just need to acknowledge that the cost of producing this book has been underwritten by the Wirrabara Progress Association with the assistance from the Wirrabara Producers Market, the Wirrabara Craft House, and a $5,000 grant from the History Trust of South Australia. Now, those few words, I officially launch Wirrabara The Continuing Story, 1974-2024, and it's on sale and for collection right here, right now. But, postscript, there's one last thing. In recognition of Di's dedication and commitment to the production of this book, I, on behalf of the committee, would like to present her with her own special and unique copy, and hope that given the angst that it has caused her, she will not see this as cruel and unusual punishment.
Thank you, Kevin, and the committee for this. And you were right, Kevin, there is definitely not another book in me. Now, while my name appears on the front cover of this book, it's not my book, is the Wirrabara Communities book. Many people use Yet Still They Live as a reference book, and this is why Tim probably saw the importance of recording Wirrabara's history of the next 50-year period. Heather Sizer's efforts in producing Yet Still They Live in less than 2 years amaze me. She had the task of researching a period exceeding 100 years, so couldn't rely on people's first-hand recollection of events, as has largely been done with this project. Although we found that people's memories could not always be relied upon. This hasn't been a solo project, and I thank the book committee for their support. I could not have done it without significant contribution from Kevin Sizer. So thank you, Kevin, and also to Terry for putting up with me calling in at least fortnightly while I was on leave. Now, I kept the acknowledgements in the book fairly brief, so I'll mention a few more names today. Thank you to Angela Peacock, who was kept busy taking various photos around the town and district. To Rosalie McCarthy, who scanned numerous photos. Roger Stevens also scanned photos and converted slides to digital format. Those who read the draft versions of the narrative, including Alex Sizer, Beth Walker, a friend from Adelaide, Fran Danieli, and my sister Jan Daly. Their feedback was appreciated. And of course my husband Tim, for being a sounding board and putting up with a very messy house these last few years. And I'm going to have to come up with another excuse now. Others contribute in one way or another, too many to mention individually, but I thank each and every one of you. I appreciate some former residents who I had not met accepting my phone calls and taking the time to talk to me about their time in Wirrabara. And it's been wonderful to meet some of them here this weekend. I also acknowledge Rhonda Peck and Greg Slashery from the Laura Archives, who allowed me access to their collection of the Flinders News dating back to 1986. I found numerous of articles of interest, not necessarily relating to Wirrabara. It also reminded me how much less things cost in years gone by. And Tim too, he took particular interest in the car adverts. Having shifted around as a child due to having parents as teachers, and then living in Adelaide, I was unfamiliar with the sense of community. However, I've come to appreciate the concept since living here these last 20 years, seeing so many volunteer hours dedicated to community groups, and former residents such as Rob Lewis return time after time to the place that means so much to them. I've enjoyed learning more about Wirrabara and feel a sense of regret that I didn't experience the busy Wirrabara of the 1970s and 80s. Now, English wasn't my favourite subject at school, and through this project I've revisited some rules of grammar and learnt the difference between a hyphen, an N dash and an M dash, but I'm sure I would have been happy to get through life without knowing that. Now, I apologise if there are things or people I omitted from the book or overlooked, but I hope that as you read it, you find things of interest and it brings back memories of times and events long forgotten. You may find the odd mistake, and if you do, they are the ones we purposely left in to see if anyone reads the book. So, enjoy the book and the rest of the 150 celebrations. Thank you.
Well done, Diane. 3 cheers for Diane. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Yeah, Diane stepped up and filled the breach and did this job for us, so we're very grateful. And like you said, so many people contributed, just like today. So many people contributed. It just shows the sense of community and what can be achieved. Coming up very shortly over in St Margaret's Anglican Church in the main street, there's the Meet the Authors section coming on, and Aunt Mama's over there waiting for us now. Memorabilia and books are now for sale in the marquee, and thank you to everybody. Thank you to the catering groups, the demonstrators that have given their time and their effort to do this. And thank you to all you wonderful people for coming along and making the day. Without you, it wouldn't be. So thank you very much. There's still plenty going on. Just look at your program and see where you want to go next. So enjoy the afternoon and enjoy your time. And now we'll launch back into the music with the band continuing with their next segment. Thank you again.